Did you know that America once had vegetables you'll never find in a grocery store today? From golden turnips to purple peas, these forgotten crops were once kitchen staples but have now disappeared. Some vanished due to industrial farming, while others were simply replaced by easier-to-grow varieties. Today we're diving into American vegetables that have faded into history and why they disappeared. Chires baby corn was once a small but significant part of American agriculture. This tiny variety of corn, known for its delicate texture and mild sweetness, was widely grown in the southeastern United States. Small-scale farmers grew it primarily for local markets and household use. It thrived in warm climates and required minimal maintenance, which made it an appealing choice for southern farmers. Unlike full-sized corn, Chires baby corn could be harvested early and eaten whole. It worked well in pickling, stir-fries, and fresh salads. Farmers also appreciated its rapid growth cycle, which allowed for multiple harvests in a single season. By the mid-1900s, it was found at farmers' markets and in home gardens across the South. By the late 20th century, Chires baby corn had nearly vanished from commercial farms. The rise of large-scale industrial farming played a major role in its decline. Commercial farms prioritized high-yield hybrid corns that could withstand mass production, transportation, and long-term storage. Chires baby corn, which required careful hand harvesting, did not fit into mechanized farming systems. The Boston Marrow squash was once a household name in American agriculture. It played an essential role in 19th century farming, dominated New England markets, and helped shape the development of modern squashes. The origins of the Boston Marrow squash trace back to the early 1800s. According to historical records, the variety was first brought to Salem, Massachusetts, by a traveler returning from the Buffalo region of New York. It was introduced to the Boston market in the 1830s, quickly gaining popularity due to its smooth texture and sweet, nutty flavor. The squash had an oblong shape with bright orange-red skin and soft flesh, making it ideal for pies, soups, and baked dishes. Unlike other squashes of the time, it had a fine-grained consistency and a richer taste. The squash gained further recognition after the Shakers, a religious farming community known for their superior seed strains, began cultivating and refining it. Despite its popularity, the Boston Marrow squash started to decline in the early 20th century. The rise of new, more uniform squash varieties contributed to its downfall. The introduction of the Hubbard squash, which was more disease-resistant and had a longer shelf life, shifted commercial interest away from Boston Marrow. Skirret is a root vegetable that was once a staple in American gardens, but has nearly vanished from modern agriculture. It was introduced to North America by European settlers in the 17th century and remained popular for centuries. It was a favorite in medieval Europe, especially in England, where it was a common ingredient in soups and stews. Skirret was valued for its sweet, nutty flavor and ability to thrive in cold climates. Early American settlers grew it in their kitchen gardens as a reliable food source. Skirret consists of multiple thin, white roots clustered together like a bundle of sticks. It is high in fiber and carbohydrates, making it a valuable energy source in times when food supplies were less reliable. Unlike many other root vegetables, skirret does not require rich soil and can grow in poor conditions, making it ideal for early farming settlements. As the 20th century progressed, skirret became a rarity. It was replaced by more commercial-friendly vegetables and gradually disappeared from markets and cookbooks. Today it survives mainly in heirloom gardening circles and among enthusiasts of historical crops. Some seed banks and specialty farms still grow it, but it is no longer a household name. Upland Cress, a once common leafy green in the United States, has nearly disappeared from modern kitchens. Known for its sharp, peppery taste, this hardy plant thrived in early American gardens and was a reliable source of fresh greens before the rise of industrial agriculture. Today, it is rarely seen in grocery stores, and few recognize its historical role in American diets. Upland Cress, or Barbaria verna, arrived in North America with European settlers. It was valued for its ability to grow in cool temperatures, providing fresh greens during seasons when other vegetables were scarce. Colonial farmers and homesteaders planted it alongside more well-known crops, using it in soups, salads, and stews. The plant was particularly popular in the 18th and 19th centuries, when self-sufficiency was essential and refrigeration was non-existent. Upland cress grows well in soil and does not need a stream or pond nearby. This made it an attractive option for small farms, as it thrived in diverse conditions across different regions of the country. The shift from homegrown produce to supermarket shopping meant that many heirloom greens, including upland cress, were no longer passed down through generations. Chicory greens once played a significant role in American diets, especially in the South and among immigrant communities. Originally from Europe, this leafy vegetable arrived in North America during the colonial era. The plant thrived in the United States due to its ability to grow in poor soil and withstand harsh weather conditions. During the 18th and 19th centuries, chicory greens were commonly used as a cooked green, much like collard or mustard greens. They were often sautéed, stewed, or boiled and served alongside meats. The leaves had a slightly bitter taste, which made them a favorite among people accustomed to strong, earthy flavors. In some communities, particularly among Italian and French immigrants, chicory was added to soups, salads, and even pasta dishes. Beyond food, the roots of the chicory plant became a valuable coffee substitute. During the American Civil War, when coffee imports were scarce, roasted chicory roots became a popular alternative. This practice remained strong in Louisiana, where chicory coffee became a regional staple. By the early 20th century, chicory greens began to decline in popularity. The bitterness of chicory greens did not appeal to the growing preference for milder, sweeter vegetables. Today, chicory greens are still grown in small-scale farms and can be found in some farmers' markets and specialty grocery stores. Burr gherkins, also known as West Indian gherkins, or Cucumis anguria, were once a familiar crop in American gardens and farms. Unlike the smooth-skinned cucumbers commonly found in stores today, these small, oval-shaped fruits were covered in spiny burrs, giving them a distinctive appearance. Their origins trace back to Africa, where they were cultivated for centuries before being introduced to the Americas through trade and migration. Burr gherkins appeared in the United States during the colonial period, likely brought over by enslaved Africans who recognized them as a familiar and reliable food source. They thrived in warm, humid conditions and were easy to grow, making them a practical addition to early American agriculture. Farmers valued them for their resilience and ability to produce a high yield even in poor soil. They were primarily used for pickling, as their firm texture allowed them to hold up well in brine. By the mid-20th century, Burr gherkins had nearly vanished from American farms. They persisted in small gardens and among heirloom seed savers, but large-scale cultivation had ended. Today they are mostly found in specialty seed catalogs or grown by hobbyists interested in preserving rare and historical crops. Fish pepper was once a key ingredient in American seafood cuisine, particularly in the mid-Atlantic region. This heirloom chili pepper, with its striking striped and mottled appearance, played a crucial role in the kitchens of African American and Chesapeake Bay seafood restaurants in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Over time, it faded from common use, nearly disappearing from agricultural records. Fish pepper traces its roots to the 19th century, where it was cultivated by African American farmers and cooks in the mid-Atlantic states, particularly in Maryland and Pennsylvania. Its unique visual appearance, featuring variegated leaves and peppers that change color from white to red as they mature, made it an easily identifiable crop. The name fish pepper comes from its primary use in seafood dishes. It was a common seasoning for fish and shellfish stews, providing heat and flavor without altering the color of the dish when used in its immature white stage. It was a staple in African American and immigrant-owned seafood restaurants, where it was often dried and ground into spice blends. Mild peppers like bell peppers and jalapenos became the preferred choices for restaurant and home cooking. Fish pepper, which remained largely a regional and heirloom crop, lost its market presence. Jersey Wakefield cabbage was once a common sight in American gardens and markets. Known for its pointed, compact head and early maturity, it played an essential role in agriculture and home gardening for over a century. Jersey Wakefield cabbage dates back to the early 19th century. It was first cultivated in the United States by Peter Henderson, a Scottish horticulturist who settled in New Jersey. By the mid-1800s, Jersey Wakefield had become one of the most widely grown cabbage varieties in the U.S. The cabbage's dense conical heads also made it easy to transport without damage, which was an advantage before refrigeration and modern storage methods. During World War I and World War II, the U.S. government encouraged people to grow their own food in Victory Gardens, Jersey Wakefield. Cabbage was among the recommended crops due to its adaptability and quick growing time. It remained a fixture in American gardens through the 40s and into the 50s. Industrial agriculture shifted toward larger, round-headed cabbage varieties that were more uniform in size and easier to process for supermarkets and large-scale distribution. Jersey Wakefield, with its unique shape and slightly smaller head, no longer fit modern retail demands. Chufa, also known as tiger nuts or earth almonds, is a small tuber that has a long history in the United States. Originally native to the Mediterranean region, it was introduced to the Americas by Spanish explorers in the 1500s. For centuries, it was cultivated across the country, especially in the southern states, where it thrived in warm, sandy soils. The tuber was consumed in various ways, often dried, roasted, or ground into flour to make porridge, bread, or cakes. It was also used for medicinal purposes, especially as a digestive aid. During the 19th century, Chufa was widely grown on small farms across the South, particularly in regions like Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. Its ability to grow in poor, dry soil made it an attractive crop for farmers looking for a hardy, low-maintenance food source. However, as the 20th century progressed, Chufa gradually faded from the American agricultural scene. The rise of industrial farming and the increasing reliance on more commercially viable crops like corn, soybeans, and cotton led to a decline in Chufa cultivation. Additionally, the growing popularity of other nuts, like peanuts and almonds, further pushed Chufa out of the market. The Golden Globe turnip was once a popular vegetable in the United States, especially in the 19th and early 20th centuries. Known for its smooth, round shape and golden yellow skin, it was valued for its sweet, mild flavor and tender texture. It was often grown in gardens across America, from small family plots to larger farms, and was a key ingredient in stews, soups, and side dishes. It thrived in both northern and southern climates, making it a reliable crop for American farmers. Its golden hue also made it stand out among the more common white or purple turnips that were typically grown during that time. People often cooked it in various ways, including roasting, mashing, or pickling it. And it was especially popular during the colder months when root vegetables were a major part of the diet. By the mid-20th century, the Golden Globe turnip began to fade from American diets. New turnip varieties, such as the white and purple turnips, began to dominate the market. These varieties were more resistant to disease and pests, which made them easier to grow and harvest. The Golden Globe turnip, which was more susceptible to certain pests, couldn't compete with these newer, more resilient varieties. If you found this list interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Which of these lost vegetables surprised you the most? Drop a comment below, and let's bring these forgotten crops back into the conversation.